gun screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polished choir. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. Everybody's selling truth like a brand, buying opinions they don't understand. Talking in circles, screaming online. Keyboard courage, borrowed spines. Yeah, power plays dressed up as peace. Same old wolves with different teeth. But silence is loud when the house is burning. And the fuse is short, yeah, it's still learning. I don't dance for the left or the right. I stand in the heat, I stand in the fight. No strings, no chains, no manufactured choir. Just gasoline thoughts and an open lighter. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. The world's on tilt, pressure climbing. Truth don't whisper, it's perfect timing. You can't cancel the smoke, you can't stop flame. Say my name when it hits, say my name. Why? Say my name. Say my fire don't ask permission. Fire don't need a side. Fire just shows up honest and exposes the lie. This is and I'll bring the fire. Truth is harder. Burn it down till what's real survives. No smoke, no mirrors, just heat and lies. And I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. American fire. Strike it. Let it speak.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to American Fire. If you're wondering why I sound like death today, well, my voice has tried to take a vacation, but I'm putting it on hold. I'm saying no voice. You have to stay with me because we got work to do. We have a show to put on. So bear with me today, guys. I got my tea with my honey in it, and we're going to make this happen. All right. Hope you guys are doing well. What a day, what a morning, I should say already, as we have gotten massive wins for the Trump administration and for America, baby, as economic numbers are coming in hot. We have the Supreme Court gave us some huge immigration rulings today, which is amazing. And we're going to talk about the repercussions of that, why it's such a big deal. We have all kinds of panic going on in the Democratic Party over the communist people they've voted in and let take over their party in New York. So I cannot wait to get to that because that's always good fun to watch them squeamishly freaking out. And the president last night gave a great speech on America, the future of America, how the best is yet to come. So, of course, we're going to cover that and show some of the amazing trends happening in our country that are not short-term. They are long-term trends. Oh, yeah. Plus, Trump got in a huge fight with the Senate yesterday, especially with Bill Cassidy. So that's going to be fun. I can't wait to cover that as well. Good times, folks. Good times. We got so much to get into. So let's not waste too much time. Oh, there'll be a little bit of wasting time because I like talking to the people. I like getting into the crowd and hanging out with you, this community. It's the best community on YouTube, and I don't get enough time with you guys. But thank you guys for watching and supporting the channel. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let me get into the chat, do some shout outs, and then we're going to get moving here. Over on Rumble, we got Sheath, A. Holland, Pixel Snap. What's going on, guys? Thanks for holding it down over there on the Rums. Here on YouTube, we got one of the many. Numero uno today, Gen X Maga, Monica Rodriguez, Klazda, Cassink, Scott Volkovich, Bobby Girl, Ramona, Gen X, Christina, Dabon Todd, Golden Code, Tammy Anderson, William Magdalene, Lisa Doxy, Build Fire for Christ, Rafe, Tammy Anderson, Bobby Girl, In and Out Keys, what's up? Pat M, Toe Cramp, Jumpman James, Razorback Pride. It's a great day, isn't it? George Papa Nicola, Case Shuey, Lisa Couture, Max Calentine, I Speak For You, and so many others. What's up, guys? What's this? Golden Code says Matt Morse was blackpilling yesterday. Blackpilling? How is anybody blackpilling? My God, blackpilling's for the weak. If you guys know what Matt Morse was blackpilling about yesterday, put it in the chat. I'm very interesting. No more Alex voice today. Yeah, I can't do any Alex voice today. I basically am Alex voice. I'm Alex voice today. I just one little octave lower, and I'm Alex Jones. Oh, you know how it goes. But as always, guys, get into the chat. Please send me your questions, comments. I do stop between every segment to do my best to answer them. Tag me so I know what's going on and I can find it. And then if you want to support the show, you can always send a super chat, which are guaranteed to be read and or answered as always. Thank you for your attention to this matter. All right, we're gonna get moving here. Ekdel says Matt Morse doesn't black belt. I didn't think he did. That's why I was surprised by what people said. Redacted reporting Trump's hiding an oil crisis. Dude, Redacted is such a joke. J-Dub says, what's the wins today? Well, I'm going to talk about it. If you're patient, I got a whole segment on it. We got some huge wins today. The economy is heating up, baby. It's heating up hot. Let's see. Dadbot says wife called right when I came on. J-Dub, I already answered your question. If you keep spamming it, dude, you're out. I'm not doing the trolling. All right. I'm not allowing trolling in my chat. That is a good reminder, folks. Do not troll in the chat. Don't spam the chat. The mods and I will kick you out. We protect this chat because it's disagreement is welcome, but it's about honor and respect here. And this is my house. This is not the U.S. government. So I don't believe in free speech in my house. We are going to kick you out if you're being a dick or if you're spamming the chat. So if you want... Again, you want the wins on the economy, you're going to have to wait because they're coming. I got a long show ahead of me today. He was worried about the commies. All right. Well, I'm not, but we'll talk about that. What's up, Donna? All right. Let's get into this, guys. You ready? Yeah, Razorback says, whoever says we're in an oil crisis is stupid, wants to cause a panic. Yeah, you'd have, honestly... Everybody, even the hedge funds are all betting. Watch where the money is going. Okay, watch where the money's going. The money is telling you everybody's betting on lower oil prices. Why? Because an oil glut is here. We are about to hit the we're going to hit the a massive oil, not shortage, but already called it a glut, but we're getting too much oil. The prices are plummeting. I know they're like up $1 today, but that's nothing. We're in the low 70s. We touched into the 60s yesterday. It'll continue to go down, and gas prices are going to follow. So I just, anybody says we're in an oil crisis, you'd have to be a moron. You just don't know what's going on. This is how you expose liars and frauds and grifters, by the way. They say ridiculous stuff. And I always tell you guys, my number one tell of a grifter is the black pill. Because no one who pays attention, who's been following politics for a long time, who understands how these things work, there's absolutely nobody who can move forward without finding a silver lining in everything. Everybody who has been involved in politics, who understands our system, who understands how the world works, everyone has to know that there's always a path forward. Better things can happen if you work towards it. There's always solutions. That is the human way, the way of the world. And I always bet on humanity's ability to innovate, and then especially when we got the right people in charge. So blackpilling is just not an option. It's a sign of a weak mental fortitude or grifting. So we don't do blackpilling on this show. I will be honest about concerns. I'll be honest about when things get tough, but we'll never blackpill. Blackpilling is ridiculous. What do I think about the earthquake in Venezuela? I think it's awful, and I hope they, I hope as little people died as possible and they get cleaned up. Razor Fist pointed out a while ago, Dems have to use divide the right strategy because they have nothing else. Yeah, I mean, that's what the city of London has to do, because MAGA is the most, MAGA's the most powerful political movement of the modern era, and it is united, and they are desperate to find a way to break it up, but they can't. And you know why they can't? Because Trump, not only is he strong, he tells the truth and he backs it up. And that, my friends, is why MAGA doesn't leave him, because we keep seeing the wins. All right. So anyways, all right, let's get into it. We got so much to get to, and we're going to start with, I'll tell you what, you know who's blackpilling right now? The Democrats. They're blackpilling hard. It is loss after loss right now for the Democrats in the deep state. They are falling apart. All of a sudden, their party is embracing communism, and the Trump administration is just getting win after win, and they don't know what to do with themselves. Here, perfect example is Mark Elias. Mark Elias, one of the most corrupt people on the planet. He is a longtime lawyer for Democrats who constantly fights against every move towards common sense policy, conservative policy in the land. He has been a thorn in the side of Republicans in the conservative movement for a long time, but now he is losing and losing and losing, and he is freaking out about this one. Yesterday, in the Senate hearing, the Postmaster General told senators that because of the rule proposed to the USPS by Donald Trump and his executive order, the Postal Service will not deliver mail ballots unless the states hand over their voter list to the Trump administration. Boom! Massive win there. This is the Postmaster General. He is in control of making this happen, and he says flat out, it's not going down, folks. And the left is freaking out. Why? Because they rigged their elections. There's no other reason not to freak out about it. And of course, Mark Elias, he's so mad. He's got to report this because he's so scared. But this is, if you think about it, it shouldn't be an issue. Why would you care if mail-in ballots were going over to your voter lists? Why? Oh, unless you want them to just go out to everybody because you want those extra votes, like in California where they're still counting today. Yeah, that election doesn't even get certified for another 10 days or so. Insanity. So if you want month-long elections, vote Democrat. But if you want single day ones, you do this. Here is where the Democrats got the word. This is what's got them all in a tizzy.
If a state refuses to turn their absentee voter list over to the federal government, will the Postal Service still mail their ballots under this proposal route?
Under our proposed regulation, no. We would tell the state that we need the manifest in order to, look, what we're asking for.
That's the, if a
Boom.
state.
No, they're not going to get it. You see how upset he was? He's like, Now, I didn't watch the whole thing. I think I'm going to go back and check it out. But Scott Pressler shared this, and anybody who knows Scott Pressler knows he gets the whole election thing. So he knows. and I trust him sharing it. Now, Democrats are freaking out over this, but a judge has already tried to block it. Now, here's the deal. The judge can block the rule, but he cannot block the Postmaster General from making this decision because this is an administrative decision. So even if the judge blocks the rule, it doesn't stop the USPS from going ahead with this. And it just ensures it'll go up to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will definitely uphold this. But here's a little breakdown.
So all the state gives us is a list of here are the voters that are supposed to get ballots, and here are the ballots. We then compare the two, make sure that the ballots that are supposed to be sent get sent. I would think that states would want the information to ensure that the ballots that they think are sending out are the ballots that are actually being sent out.
The government is expected to quickly appeal this ruling and block the judge's order from taking effect while all this litigation continues, Dana.
I believe the appeal will hold it and block it. So this should be good for the midterms. Now, let's break down why this is such a big deal. As Rasmussen Reports puts out, why is this big cheat upset about Trump's ballot tracking initiative? Why is big cheat? So funny. The official state-generated ballot list will still be used by the U.S. Postal Service to mail, deliver, and return all the state ballots. The feds will not dictate who's on or off of it. Only the state will do that. The difference now is the states and feds will both know who may or may not be eligible to vote before, during, and after. And that puts state election officials on notice. Well before the process begins, they'll be questioned about tracked questionable ballots. And if the states are correct and they include ballots for people the feds were wrong about, then no harm's done. But if the feds are correct and those state officials were on prior notice, they could be violating federal election law about specific questionable ballots that the USPS delivers for them, then they are subject to investigation, possibly prosecution, because they were dully and officially warned before they included the questionable ballots in their individual state list. This brings personal accountability in state election offices in a manner they're currently unaccustomed to, and personal accountability with federal teeth. There you go. Helps focus the bureaucratic mind. Far better to cooperate in advance with the feds and mutually pre-identify any possible non-conforming ballot issues. Big Cheat hates the idea of the cooperation the most. And they give a whole breakdown on way more of this, but they don't like this. They're big scared. They big scared because, listen, even if you don't, this is how Trump, as I like to say often, the Trump administration, they are so smart because what they'll do is they set their eyes on something and they're like, we're going to get this done. And so they go executive order route. Then they try to get it passed by Congress so it becomes permanent. When judges block it or when they can't do it the legal way of current law, they find the workarounds. And right now, we don't have voter ID nationwide. We allow mail-in ballots to be counted after Election Day. All kinds of stuff that allows all kinds of fraud in some states, obviously worse than others. This is a way around it because the U.S. Postal Service is federally run. I love it. It's so genius how they do this kind of stuff. Now, it's not just Democrats trying to block this stuff. Mike DeWine, the total rhino failure governor of Ohio, just blocked voter ID in Ohio that was passed by the House.
Morning, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has vetoed a controversial bill that would have required voters to provide photo ID when casting an absentee ballot. Governor DeWine says the bill would have created an additional burden for Ohioans and that it doesn't add any safety measures. In a statement, DeWine said in part, requiring a photo ID for mail-in ballots, quote, does not provide election officials with any opportunity to verify if the ID picture matches the face of the voter and thereby serves as no additional verification of the voter's true identity, end quote. Morning, Ohio Governor Mike.
This just goes to show you that the people on the right, the rhino types, they're all the same. They all come from the same deep state, globalist, Davos agenda, City of London system that just wants to undermine our elections and keep in power. That's the point. And that's who is a lot of our senators in Congress right now. They are the same. They're bred from the same DNA as Mike freaking DeWine right here. And that's why they don't want to pass the Save America Act. However, when you have somebody like Trump, as we'll talk about in a little bit, who has that strong arm the boss mentality, and he's got the receipts on all of them. He's able to possibly get them all in order. So we're going to find out. But the fact that Trump is pushing it so hard, I still have hope the Save America Act will get passed. Now, with all this going on, obviously, we're still getting wins, okay? This is still a huge win before the midterms, and it will continue to be so, especially if the appeals court stay it, which I believe they will. And there's more wins coming. It is ramping up for the Trump administration right now. The SCOTUS Supreme Court just delivered a massive win for Trump this morning on an issue that's going to be huge with the base, and that is this. The Supreme Court struck down Hawaii's rule that banned carrying guns on private property open to the public unless the owner gave explicit permission. Holding it violates 2nd and 14th Amendments. In other words, guys, if you carry, you now can walk into a store with your gun, which is your right. This is all. If it's public, if it's open to the public, the owners now can't ban you from doing it. Well, I should say this: it's not an auto ban. I don't know if this covers that. They can specifically ask you, please don't bring it in. But there was an auto ban that Hawaii passed that even unless the owner came out and was like, yes, bring your guns in, you weren't allowed to bring it in. This is a big win for 2A. And as came out yesterday, Trump is trying to get national concealed carry laws passed. So that's huge. Or is it open carry? I don't remember. It's carry. Trump is, despite the fact in the first term when they did the bump stock ban, which got overturned by SCOTUS, other than that, Trump's been the most 2A president we've ever seen. And some of us think that Trump might have done that bump stock ban in order for Supreme Court to overturn it, to stop more bans coming if once he was gone. I don't know. Some people think Trump plays 4D chess, 5D chess like that. I'm one of them. But you may not, and that's okay. Regardless, 2A has become increasingly protected because of Trump. And that's incredible news. And that'll be huge for the midterms. Now, what will also be huge for the midterms is this is where Trump is going full populist. And he's calling out to do an investigation of oil companies to make sure gas prices get cheaper. Because guess what? Right now, oil is barely above where it was pre-Iran war. It is just a couple bucks above the day we went and attacked Iran. But gas prices are still $1 higher, which means the gas prices aren't dropping as fast as oil prices. And now Trump is calling it out. And this is, again, why people love him so much.
Your Department of Justice to do an investigation for oil companies that you said gas prices were not coming down quick enough.
That's right.
And you are concerned that there is price gouging going on, taking advantage of the prices. Sir, can you elaborate on that?
So it's ExxonMobil, it's Chevron, it's Shell, it's BP, it's a lot of them. The gasoline or the oil prices have come down so much, and we are not seeing anything at the pump by comparison to what it should be. We should be, in my opinion, at $2.25 right now at the pump. And we're higher than that. And we are doing a big investigation on it. Yeah, they're not reducing the prices commensurate with what's happening. Look, we are sending out, think of it, 19 million barrels came out yesterday. That is a flood. That's like a gusher. That's an oil gusher. And they should be much lower, the gasoline prices, which really is what people see more than anything else, but for their car. But the gasoline prices should be much lower at the pump. And the oil companies are possibly gouging. I hope they're not, otherwise they're going to be in big trouble. They're going to be in big trouble. We're not going to play games.
Mr. President, you spoke to President.
Hey guys, you know what this means? Get ready for gas prices to plummet. They don't want to be investigated. They know Trump is on their side in most cases. He is allowing them to pump oil like never before. He's deregulated the industry so that they have way more ability to make money, to He's turned us into the biggest deliverer of oil to the world. He has been nothing but good for oil companies. But he's also saying, if you guys are messing around, I'm going to F you up. And that, my friends, is a warning shot. So I will tell you right now, right after this today, watch gas prices to go down much faster, because they don't want to deal with Trump going after them. They really don't. They also know you can't mess up with Trump. You can't mess with him because he always follows up. He sues people left and right, and he's got the whole power of the federal government behind him. Do you think the oil companies really want to get on Trump's bad side? Nope. So watch. I see so many people saying that oil, despite the fact oil prices are down, gas still isn't going to go down to where it was. I think that's ridiculous, and this is one of the reasons why. You get the push. Trump has just put it out there. And again, the acceleration that'll happen before we get to the midterms, man, I'm telling you guys, people are going to be very, very happy as things turn around for the midterms. Now, let's talk about another massive sign for the midterms is this commie takeover of New York. And I got to tell you, I see a lot of fear out there, and people are acting as if like this means the communists are taking over America. It does not. You understand that the communists, the way they do things, when they were most dangerous was when they were hidden. They were more dangerous when they were getting Obama to be president. This takeover, this is them losing. They think they're winning. The idiot idealists on the left think they're winning because they're finally getting some notoriety. They're finally getting a few people up there. But guys, it's a massive loss nationwide, and the Democrats know it. And Seth Keshel, who I always bring up as the election mastermind, demographic mastermind, says watching the right worry and flip out over the left branding itself unpalatable to everything in between the coasts is hard to believe. I completely agree with them. And he puts out this Are You Not Entertained newsletter, which you guys should go check out. Seth Keshel's stuff's amazing. But just as I told you guys yesterday, Trump now is saying, Trump must watch my show. I'm just going to say that. Trump must watch my show because I said it first. This is one of the few times I get to say I said something before President Trump did. Trump now is saying this will make the election easier for Republicans. Listen to this.
A democratic socialist.
Well, it should make it easier for Republicans because most of the nation is composed of sane people. They don't want to, if you look throughout history, go back thousands of years, you've always had socialism and communism by different names. It's never ever worked. Yep. It's not going to work this time either.
Make it easy. I love that. He's absolutely right. And then he's also said this, because we had this argument yesterday, that socialism is communism. Well, Trump, again, he must watch my show because he just said the same thing.
Well, they're going radical left. They're going really, you talk about the Democrat socialists, it's really communist. These people, I watched that woman last night. That's not a socialist. I know socialists. That woman is a communist. And what they don't say is that I was 16-0 last night. But mine were a little more boring, a little more mainstream. They were Republican conservatives. But we were 16-0. And if you look over the last 2.5 years, we're about 347 and just about 0. That's pretty good. But nobody writes that. But he picked 3. They won. They beat a guy named Dan Goldman, who's, a loser. He was one of my
loser. Interesting enough, Dan Goldman is a big loss for the Democrats, for the establishment Democrats, for the City of London controlled Democrats who haven't lost control of their people yet. He was one of their golden boys. And this is important to recognize, that losing Goldman was like losing, I'm trying to think of who would be a rising star on the right in the House, like maybe like a Brandon Gill, like somebody they are just excited about carrying forward. And like this guy will be part of the new party rising up. And he got beat by one of these commies. This is another reason they're freaking out.
Prosecutors, one of my many prosecutors that they used on me. Dan Goldman, not a good prosecutor, fortunately, but he's now looking for a job. I was very surprised to see, because he's pretty liberal guy. When they go more liberal than Dan Goldman, they're really into Never Never Land.
Does this tell you that the Democratic Party's 2028 nominee will likely be, or could likely be, a Democratic socialist?
Well, it should make it easier for Republicans.
And that's the part we already watched. But again, Trump calling it out exactly as it is. These guys are full-on communists, but Trump he's messaging to us guys that he's not going to allow this to happen. And do you think this took him by surprise? I don't think so at all. I really don't think so. See, sometimes and a lot of people who are freaking out about this stuff, sometimes they don't understand just how much information and how much good counsel comes to you when you're president. It's not that you see all, it's not that you're perfect, but you're privy to access to ideas and trends and behind the scenes information that just nobody else gets. We cannot even fathom this kind of stuff that Trump gets to hear about that we don't, and that they can prepare for that we don't know of. And again, if you watch Trump's career, it's pretty clear he's always kind of ready for what's coming next in almost every circumstance. Nobody's perfect, but he does not look worried about this whole Democrat communist thing.
Every election's important. We're doing very well. They want a lot of communists to come in. I'm saying it a little bit differently, but the people that they're pushing are communists, and this country is not going to have communists. Thank you very much.
Trump knows. And it's not just Trump. I like Asmongold. Asmongold is the biggest streamer in the world. He was a gamer who just started streaming long term, streams for hours and hours a day, way more than I do. And he's got a massive following, and he talks politics, and he's very common sense. And Asmongold, who has got a great pulse on the culture, he had his own thoughts on what's going on with the Democrats and the communism. And listen to this.
I was gonna say, so then this is a way that Hassan is absolutely detrimental to like Democrats and or liberals, because you'll have Asmongold fighting him on something. Hassan, people will view him as like, oh, this is.
They will view him as the Democrat voice, and he runs with Democrats. He tries to get involved with them, and he does so to their detriment. That is exactly right. Now, I'm very happy about this, by the way. The Democrat Party is being totally taken over by a bunch of fucking radical communists and socialists. They are. You're having the Democrat Party be totally taken over by socialism and by race communism and other bullshit like this. I think it's actually quite funny because I've told people this is what was going to happen. I've said this multiple times over and over and over. Leftists now, right? And so this is the new party of the left. And this is the reason why I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it because this is a very easy group to other. This is an easy group to demonize, and it's an easy group to take action against, right? Yes. And I think also they don't really appeal to the average, like they appeal to Democrats. They're going to win Democrat primaries. And it's because Democrats are... There is no cohesive ideology that Democrats exist around.
Listen to him.
There isn't. And so also this, let me see if I can pull it up.
Do you guys hear what he said? He nails it. The Democrats, the only reason they still win national elections in the last 20 years is because they present themselves as kind of a nothing. They don't really present real policies. They've governed as socialists. That's just a fact. I can point to you to Obama's track record. I can point to you to a lot of what Clinton was doing. Obviously Biden, but they didn't run like that. They ran as common people, like, we want to help you. And they specifically on purpose avoids getting into the specifics of what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. They just talk about big picture stuff. They're great marketers. The Democratic Party is really great at marketing because they know how to appeal to emotions, and because they know people don't want the details. And what that does is that it dupes people who don't pay attention over and over again, even if these people are kind of like maybe more traditional values, maybe not necessarily wanting like higher taxes, but what they hear, these people who don't pay attention, don't understand how the system works, they'll hear Democrats say, cheaper, easier. We'll make it easier for you. We'll punish the people that make you mad. And they hear those three things and they're like, oh, cheaper, easier, punish the bad people? Yeah, I'm in. But once you affix communists to them, now you have an enemy. Because the vast majority of people don't like this. And Asmongold nails it. This gives us something to target when it's a lot harder to target them over policy because they bob and weave. And listen, the reason I think this is a good thing, Asmund thinks this is a good thing, President Trump thinks this is a good thing, Seth Keshel thinks this is a good thing, is because the Democrats also are freaking out. And I showed you guys some yesterday. Well, we got more. Here's Letitia James, AG in New York, who went after Trump. Yeah, she's not happy about it.
Some of the candidates that he has supported, Mondami, are individuals who do not understand the politics of New York City, the cultural differences from district to district, who have not been part of the history and the struggle. All of us are a little frustrated with the Democratic Party, but you don't blow it up. I have news for you. They just did. And you did nothing about it. Neither did Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi. You could spin it whatever you want. I think some of the candidates.
Now, this is the panic, okay? They're going to gather themselves. They're going to choose to go all in for the midterms because that's what they're going to do. They care about power more than anything else. But the initial panic is the tell. This is when you're getting them off script. They haven't gathered themselves yet. And that panic is widespread. And the big way I know this is James freaking Carville's freaking out about it. He says, I'm done. I'm not in that effing political party, freaking out after progressives win big in the Democratic primaries. If James Carville, who is like so excited about this midterms, hates Trump with every little bit of his passion, his old man face, Popeye face without the muscles, this guy is, if nothing else, like I can't stand James Carville, but the dude is smart. He's smart when it comes to winning elections. And I mean, he's the guy who got Clinton in. He masterminded the Clinton campaign, and it was a very good campaign. But him freaking out about this, and again, he'll gather himself. He'll start coming up with reasons why you got to vote for him anyways. Don't be fooled. These people are not leaving. But this is the initial tell. They are scared because, again, Carville, the mastermind of Democratic elections, of campaigns, is like, no, that's not what you do. Remember, he's Mr. It's the economy, stupid. That's his tagline. He is like, let's just talk emotions and issues, give him the bait. But now they could say we're commies. This is not good for us. And so Carville is freaking out. And Fetterman, again, proves to be the only voice of reason that's actually serving for the Democrats in Congress. He says anti-Israel, anti-America, anti-Western civilization. Why am I the only Democrat in the Senate that refuses to excuse this or defend any of the self-identified communists? And he points to Chevalier here, the Mamdani-backed DSA member-led radical group that demanded total eradication of Western civilization. Fetterman's willing to call it out. I'm telling you guys, they are not happy about this. Things are not going good for Democrats right now. And things are only picking up for MAGA, for Republicans and Trump. The other tell is things keep getting worse for Newsom. This is one of their big heroes heading forward. Exclusive from Christopher Rufo. Our team has scoured public records and discovered Gavin Newsom has close connections with at least 10 people who have been investigated, indicted, or convicted of fraud and corruption. We've mapped out Gavin Newsom's criminal network, and they put together this excellent article here. I recommend you guys check it out. But the fact is, Newsom's family is under investigation right now, and now everybody's looking at him. This will crush the Democrats' future, their hopes for 2028. It's beautiful, baby. I love every second of it. Commies coming in, announcing to the world, hey, we're not hiding anymore. This is who we actually are. That's excellent for us going forward. people like Newsom being taken out, Plattner's out there, Tallarico. We are seeing the Democrats lose their cover. They're blowing their own cover by showing us who they actually are. And I'm sorry, folks, but once Americans find out who Democrats actually are, it's just going to get so much worse for them. Here's my favorite New York Jew. Harry, tell us some good news. Here's
because
Harry.
What is true in New York City in a Democratic primary ain't necessarily true nationwide with the general electorate. I mean, just take a look here. Net favorable rating of Democrat Socialists. If you look at Democrats nationwide, look at this. Democrat Socialists are on the positive side of the ledger at plus 17 points. This includes Democratic-leaning independents. But look at all voters. A completely different world. 27 points underwater.
You guys hear what he just said? This is Democrats favoring of the DSA, who they are coming out as, who they are showing you who they are, the commies. And this is all voters, Republicans, independents, and Democrats combined. You know what this means? That among anybody right-leaning and anybody center, there is no favorability whatsoever, because to go from this number to this number means it's almost 0% amongst Republicans and independents in the center. That, my friends, is death to the Democratic Party. That is also proof that America is not in danger of becoming communist. What it is that this party, the Democrats, are getting crazier and crazier, but they're also getting smaller and smaller. To go from this to this means that this is not a big faction of Americans anymore. This is only going to get worse for them as well. These numbers right here will go higher as this number goes lower as more people defect over time. I've already seen prominent Democrats in New York say this is the last time I'm voting as a Democrat in New York. Once you go too far, there's a lot of people not willing to go here. It's one thing to be commie. It reminds me of the scene in the classic movie from the early 90s, The Rocketeer. And if you guys don't like The Rocketeer, haven't seen The Rocketeer, what's wrong with you? Excellent, amazing movie. And it's at the end when the feds are fighting. The bad guy finally gets revealed as a Nazi, and he was working with the mob. And all of a sudden, all the Nazis show up, and they're fighting the feds. And the feds, the mafia guys go, and they come on the side of the feds. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "You know what? I don't like the feds, but I'm no freaking Nazi." That's what's happening here. Might be, I don't like the Republicans, but I'm no freaking communist. That's what's happening. Americans, man, we will galvanize and defeat this. Them being exposed is always the sign they're about to lose.
Democratic Socialists of America are in the net favorable rating. So what are we talking about? A 44-point difference here in the wrong direction when we come to Democratic Socialists of America, jumping from being pretty popular among Democrats to being not popular at all among all voters.
What about just the word socialist or socialism? How's that doing?
Yeah, okay. So, one of the trends that we have seen is among Democrats, socialism has become more popular over the last decade and a half. But what about the rest of the electorate? And this, I think, gives the game away right here. Okay, positive view of socialism. Among Democrats, look at this. Up considerably from where we were in 2010, 50% to now 66% now. That's a jump of 16 points in a decade and a half. But look at all others. The number is the same. It was 29% back in 2010. It's 30% now. Socialism has become increasingly popular among Democrats, but it is a much tougher sell in the rest of the electorate. It's a much tougher sell among independents.
The other part of that he doesn't take into consideration here is the terrible education as to what socialism actually is. Once people actually realize what it is, it becomes even more unpopular, and that's been proven as well. And if people are going to show it and show you who they are, it'll get more unpopular. Just look at what happened with the Biden 40%. So again, yeah, I mean, look at even back in 2010, guys, Democrats were 50% then. This is not this. They've been wanting to outright come all the way out for a long time now, but it is, we're not losing, but the Democratic Party is getting more radical, and they will lose more and more, especially because we're outbreeding them considerably. They're killing themselves off. Now, the next thing that Democrats and the deep state is freaking out about is Trump's approval is starting to jump back up. 46.7%. There's a second poll that has him at 47% in the last couple days. Guys, he was in the low 40s during Iran when gas prices were high. That was the lowest Trump has been in the entire second term. 2 months of touching the low 40s. That's when they were all pouncing. Now that the deal's signed, now that Iran settled down, oil is starting to produce, gas is going down, this is going up, and it's only going to continue to go up or at least hold. And at these numbers, he'll have much higher numbers in his second term than Obama or Bush or Clinton, which means the midterms get harder and harder for them to win. And we can see it in the generic ballots, even in just the last 3 weeks. And this is YouGov. It's a very left-leaning poll. It adds 3 to 7 points for Democrats every single time. Already, even in YouGov, they've lost 11 points in the last 3 weeks. Guys, we are not losing right now. We are overcoming one of the toughest political environments in the last 10 years, especially for MAGA and Trump. Trump did something tough. He risked the poll numbers early. He went for it, and it's already recovering and already coming back, and that has them in complete and utter panic. The midterms, as of right now, are looking very strong for Republicans, which no one would have told you a couple months ago. But I look at all the trends, and I'm telling you, it's only going to get better for here, especially with the economy, which we're going to talk about next. All right, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. And we got so much more coming up here. We got economy. We got massive Supreme Court wins on immigration to talk about. We got Trump's fight with Senate. We got, so much to come. So don't check out yet. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm going to take a second to get caught up here in the chat, and then we're gonna get into it. Let me leave this up for now, because this is gonna piss off any trolls that come in. All right. Kay Shui says, do I think the Lebanese are the same opinion of Islam when they first started taking over cities as we do with them taking over big city in our country? I don't think it's the same thing at all. I don't. Middle East, it's just, listen, I understand the concerns about this Islamic takeover. I really do. I just don't think it's as big a deal as people think it is. Now, that doesn't mean it's not a big deal where it's happening. I don't think it's as widespread. I think the immigration things are going to fix most of it. And so what's happening in New York is we're allowing New York to be this sacrificial lamb because the people want it. They want this communist takeover. They want this this Hamas terrorist sympathizing takeover. And so Trump and the team, they're allowing democracy to play out. They're allowing New York to let this happen, because by allowing it to be seen in the biggest city in our nation and allowing them to get what they're asking for, Trump is letting the entire nation see what we ultimately don't want, which is going to be a win in the long term. In the short term, it sucks for New York. But the rest of America, that's not happening. We have these guys in charge. We control most of the states. It's not happening everywhere. It's pockets that get a lot of media attention, so it feels bigger than it is. But that's on purpose, because it'll lead to a higher rejection. So I don't think it'll be the same. 100 years of conservatives, that would be something. I do think we're going to get a couple decades at least. Let's see. Am I missing anybody who tagged me? The walls are closing in, they say on Rumble. Absolutely. More center derms coming. Yep. Let's see. Hannah says, excuse me, we must vote red in the midterms. That's how we can thank and protect Trump. Do it for Trump. I mean, we all need to show up. DJ Fusion asks, am I okay? My voice is broken. I'm fine. My voice is a little off, but I'll be all right. I'm getting through it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me, Mo. I'm going to take care of myself. Don't worry. I'll be good. Thanks for asking though. My Alex voice for me. No, I don't know what happened as far as my voice. A couple days ago, I woke up with a little chest congestion. No other symptoms. I coughed it up. And then yesterday I woke up and I had more, and I coughed it up all day. And then it ruined my voice. Today I feel much better. The congestion is almost all gone, but the voice, it'll be fine by tomorrow. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me, guys. But thank you for checking in. I appreciate that. All right. Well, let me yeah, it's not quite a cold because I don't really have any other symptoms. I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. This is just a stupid voice. All right, let's get into it. Guys, but please hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you guys want to support the channel, you can click the Patreon link that's in the chat or in the description here on YouTube and on Rumble. And you can become a part of the Discord group, which is amazing. 24/7. It's like this chat, but better. And along with that, we have the members' lives, members' content, all of that for supporting the channel. You get extra stuff. And you also get a free month by clicking that link right there to try it out. So if you want to support the channel, that's a good way to do it. The other way is super chats. If you guys have a question for me, something you definitely want me to speak to, super chat me and it'll be guaranteed to be read. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Let's get moving on the economy. All right. This is what what's his face earlier was really wanting me to get to. So you ready? I got the wins. Massive wins came in this morning. So the Trump economy is heating up, folks. All of his policies are starting to work. He's being proven right. This is very similar to Reagan in the early 80s when he got his tax cuts and deregulations. And it took 24 months to really see the turnaround. Trump's doing this on steroids because along with what he's doing with the tax cuts, deregulating, he's added on top of that the energy flow that we've never seen before. As long as, along with a couple other things as well, like the trade deals, et cetera, et cetera. And now we're starting to see, it's been not even 12 months since the One Big Beautiful Bill, and it's already coming along. Listen to this.
All right, personal income for the month of May, almost twice expectations, comes out up 0.7, strongest number since January of 24, equals where we were about a year ago in July. If we look at spending, similar scenario, up 0.7, better than expected, but we were looking for 0.6, so not quite double like we were on income. 0.7 would be the best going back to, well, it equals where we were in February. And if you look at the March number, it was up 1%. So that is your kind of cluster there.
All right. The big one here is income. Did you guys hear what he said? I've been telling you guys this. We've been seeing the signs. Manufacturing up here, goods orders up here. The signs were that the economy was starting to heat up. Income is always the lagger because the companies start first. They invest, they start seeing profits, and then they pay people more. The incomes are starting to rise, and the big tell is double expectations. That's massive, folks. Double is huge. And not only that, we just got GDP for Q1 significantly higher than expected.
Finally, with GDP here, for the final read of Q1 GDP, we came in at 2.1%. Now, the estimate was 1.6%. Remember, we got that big surprise on the last reading to the downside. Well, the number has gone back up. Now we are at 2.1% for first quarter GDP. Finally, with GDP.
That's a 25% increase over expectations. 25%. That's huge. Massive. Double income expectations, 25% higher GDP. Why were the expectations so low? Because these people don't want to believe that Trump is doing what's right for the country. They don't like that he's breaking the system. They want us all scared. So they throw out all these nonsense numbers because first of all, part of it is too, they don't understand. They're like, this is not what you do. You're just supposed to spend more money. But that's not what's happening. Trump is being proven right. And it's not just that. Durable goods orders were expected to be 4.5% down, or expected to be 5% down. They were only 4.5% down. Durable goods transports, 1.3%, expected 0.6%. That's a double. Cap goods, new orders, 1.6% versus 0.6%. This is the kind of stuff that means we are growing. The businesses are growing. And then inflation came in some areas lower than expectations. 0.4% month over month, expected 0.5%. Core as expected, PCE, also year over year as expected. Now here's the deal. This will go down with oil going down. This is the last print from May that had the oil prices higher, energy prices higher. As that starts going down, this inflation, which accounts for oil energy prices, will start to plummet as well. Now what they're saying is, oh, this means they're going to have to raise rates. No, it doesn't. Once the energy goes down, this will plummet and we won't have to raise rates. In fact, Warsh is very likely to cut rates, and that's only going to make the economy even hotter. So get ready, folks. It's working. Trump's plans are working. Here's the income numbers, 0.7 versus 0.4. Personal spending up and real personal spending up as well. So all the numbers show the people are doing better. You personally might not be doing better yet. I understand that, especially if you're in a blue state. But the trend is nationwide, people are getting more money and they're feeling fine about that money, so they're spending more. That is the sign. It doesn't matter what people's emotions say in a poll. Money talks. And the money is saying people are starting to do better. Now, it's only going to improve as oil keeps going down. Secretary Chris Wright, Energy Secretary, says in the last 24 hours, 72 ships and 20 million barrels of oil have transited through the Strait of Hormuz, fully restoring the pre-conflict flows. Man. And that's with more oil. See, pre-conflict, yeah, all this was flowing from the Strait, so it's great that's back there. But here's what they're not telling you. There are more oil coming out of America now than was pre-conflict. And there's more oil coming out from the Gulf states, also through pipelines, etc., than pre-conflict, which means, oh, and Venezuela as well. So you take all that together, you have way more oil in the market now than we did pre-conflict. Thank you, Donald Trump. It was a temporary setback for a long-term gain. The world is different now post-Iran conflict because he was willing to do it. Here's Trump again saying they're going to go after the oil companies. This is going to push down gas prices quickly. So commensurate with the more oil out there, gas prices will go down. Oil currently is about $71. My friend, Bam, investor, who's also the smartest man I know when it comes to markets and all the global trading commodities, says this is what we've been talking about for months. The mainstream media has no clue what Trump has been up to vis-a-vis Venezuela and Iran. When the BRICS start talking smack about China dominating as the world's new superpower, do they actually think Trump would just play golf and admit defeat? In other words, Trump is making us the dominant center of energy in the world, the dominant dollar. All of that is just going to build our wealth. Economy. This is the beginning of a booming economy, not the end. And it doesn't matter if we have stock market correction. That's not the point, because that might happen still. The stock market is definitely overbought. So we might still have a correction here at some point, or even a crash. But just like in 87, which was a crash, the economy overall was still strong. What Trump's building is an economy for Main Street. This Main Street economy will not go backwards for a long time because what Trump is doing is so significant. We're looking, I believe, at the beginning of an economic boom for Main Street, for the real economy that could last 10, 20 years or longer, depending on if we keep the policies going. But this energy dependence and what has been pulled off is just massive. And this and Bam put this in response to a video I played yesterday, which was Bissett talking about the dollar, which I'm going to play one more time for you guys in case you missed it yesterday.
Dollar dominance is essential, and everything President Trump is doing here is, if you look, the new Venezuela is invoicing in dollars. They're coming back onto the dollar system. They've been sanctioned. They were not allowed to translate or to transact in dollars, and now the dollar is going to be the centerpiece of their trade. They were selling discounted oil to China and not getting dollars. We're seeing in the Iranian negotiations, the Iranians will be invoicing in dollars. So everything we are doing is pushing the dollar back. It's never left as the centerpiece for the global currency system, but we're reinforcing it. I would anticipate when the Russia-Ukraine conflict ends, that Russia will want to come back in the dollar system because, again, the dollar, it's our liquidity, it's our capital markets, it's the depth and breadth. Everyone wants to be here.
Did you hear what Bissett just said? You think Trump's talking with Putin, that they just already know this? It's not a guess that Russia's going to come back to the dollar? You know what that's going to do for the dollar purchasing power worldwide, guys? I mean, we have not seen how good it is to be an American yet. I'm telling you, what the Trump team is doing is massive and long lasting. Now, housing is getting interesting. So this month we just got the numbers in that home sellers outnumber buyers by 630,000, largest gap ever recorded. People still aren't buying homes that much. Why? Because the rates are high. That is what Trump has already talked about. Interestingly enough, home prices went up last month, but the devil's in the details on that one. Home prices went up because the higher houses went up, whereas middle and lower houses continue to go down as they stay on market longer. That those very expensive houses, $1 million plus, rose the overall price, but that's not a signal of where we're at. And this is how you know it's not something to worry about long term, because we are about to hit, we have a glut of housing right now. Building is not the problem. It's getting the rates down. As Trump said yesterday in his talk, we get rates down, it's going to fix most of the housing prices. And that's what Kevin Warsh is about to do. Meanwhile, our bond rate has been going down the last few days, which also impacts interest rates. So we're getting to the point where your housing will become affordable again at some point soon. Just wait. This is all going to work itself out. Now, this is an example of what's going on financial markets. They are taking a hit worldwide. South Korea right now is in the weakest level against the dollar since the global financial crisis. That's a big deal. Why? Well, Trump is restructuring the world order financially. He's breaking the City of London financial order. That's going to have some consequences. That's going to have some collateral damage. And that's what we're watching right now. We need to pay attention to this. We need to pay attention, especially what's going on in Japan, because this might lead to a crash in our markets or a correction at some point. But because of everything else being done, that doesn't mean it's going to hurt Main Street too much. So be prepared. We're not all the way in the great stuff yet, but the trends are all in the right direction. And the fact is that Trump's policies are just being proven to work as we keep getting better and better news on the economy. So this is the beginning of this. By the midterms, it's going to be a lot better. People are going to be feeling better. Energy will be lower, and gas prices will be much lower by the midterms. I'm guessing at least even $1 lower. Guys, people are going to be feeling good. They're going to be feeling good. This whole Morning in America thing that like Reagan pulled off, Trump's about to pull off something similar. And I think Trump's policies are going to be even better long term. And but in the short term, his communication could rise and create that kind of good feeling in America that we had during the Reagan years when Reagan won 49 states in 1984. That could be us. And it won't be 49 states anymore. We're too polarized. But I think this economy keeps trending in this direction, keeps improving based on what Trump's doing. 2028 will be a win that's even bigger than what Trump won in 24. And that's what I think is coming. So buckle up, guys. All the signs are here that we're headed towards something better in the next few months. And then that's just the beginning based on these policies. So I'm excited. And I hope you are too. All right, hit that like and that subscribe. Next, we're going to talk about Supreme Court, what it just did for immigration and Trump's immigration stuff, which is huge. Actually, we got some really big rulings today. And so I want to talk about that, plus some of the other things going on from Secretary Mullins. But first, I saw a couple super chats come in, so I want to deal with those. And Kay Shuey with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Shuey. Says, thanks for a great answer. Well, you're welcome. I don't remember what my answer was to you specifically, but you're welcome. Moody Waters, member for 37 months. Moody, you must have gotten the membership when it first launched. Says, will we short squeeze when Trump fixes markets? I don't know about short squeezes. That's impossible to predict. But will there be ways to position yourself to take advantage? Will there be short squeezes? Absolutely. There always is when a market loses control. So that'll be interesting. Carson Brownie with the $5 super chat says, you cover a lot of info most people never hear. I appreciate that. I'm not as positive as you, even though I'm positive, but watching you helps. Thanks. You're welcome. Thank you so much, Carson. And thank you for supporting the channel with the super chat. You know, there is two kinds of information, right? There's the fun, interesting information that's salacious and people want. And then there's the information that actually matters. I try to marry the two. I'm not going to completely ignore something that's interesting but maybe meaningless. I will touch on those sometimes. That's what the Grifter Report is often for. But I want to focus on the things that are happening that most people don't know, because this matters. This is the trends of where we're going. And I got to tell you, as you say, you're positive, but not as positive as me. The reason I'm always positive is, number one, my faith. It forbids me from not being positive and not being full of hope as a Christian. But the next thing is that I look at what the actual trends are. And I've been doing this for 25 years, following politics, following geopolitics and economics. And so, and I'm a history buff. So I can tell you, I can see something and I can put one and one together and say, oh, this means this is coming, or this should be coming. And then I also trust our president. So when you put all those factors together, I can't help not being positive. I'm very excited about the future. I think the future is very, very bright. In fact, as an American, you know, I'm 42 years old. I'll be 43 this year. I've never been more excited to be an American than I am right now, this moment. I've never been more excited about our future than I am this moment. And that includes when I was young and idealistic. Even from a pragmatic approach, I believe we are at the best time to be alive as an American in the last, century, maybe ever. I think we're headed for better times than we've ever seen before. When you couple the advances of technology and modern living, along with the trends of culture that are shifting, along with the policies Trump is implementing, along with the peace he's starting to get worldwide. Not that we'll ever have full world peace, but closer than we've been, along with all the exposure that's happening of all the lies we believed. When you put all of that together, I think the future looks amazing. I'm so excited about the future. Anybody who thinks we're in the worst time ever, they don't know what they're talking about. Tell that to the people who lived through World War II. Tell that to the people who lived through, Roman times, the fall of Rome. I mean, come on. Like, they just don't know what they're talking about. They have no grasp of history. They're just focused on one or two issues. And they're like, look how bad this is. This means everything's bad. And I'm like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. We weathered a decline. We had a managed decline for like the last 50 years. And we had blips where we still got better, and then we go back, but we survived the managed decline, guys. We're out of it now. Now we're entering another uptick, and it's just like I say with history. History is a graph, okay? And history goes like this. Since you can trace this to like the time of Jesus and as human living, okay, from 0 AD. You go, it just improves, little bump, improves, bump down, improves, and it just keeps going up. But it's like a stock graph, you know, there are little dumps, but then it goes back up. We just got through one of those dumps, and now we're trending back up. And what we're about to experience is a better time than we've ever seen. I believe that with all my heart. I don't make that up when I say that. It's not a game I'm playing. It's not a role I'm playing. I'm not doing it for the show. I legitimately believe that. And that's when you watch me talk on here, that comes from that conviction. So, Excessive Gamer with the $5 super chat asks, sorry if this is a dumb question, but is the City of London group associated with British royal bloodline type stuff? There's some crossover. I'll say this. We don't know exactly all the names of all the players in City of London. We just know that it's the overall system. It's leftovers from the British Empire. You can trace it back to the Dutch trading company. You can trace it back, some of it, fragments of it, to the Roman Empire. There's, we don't know every specific. They do that on purpose. They're so permeated into everything that it's very hard to trace directly to specific people. We know some people. We know Soros and the Rockefellers, and you can go through all that, but the Rothschilds. But we don't know everybody who's in charge of it. We definitely can trace some of it to the crown, but is it all bloodline? I don't think so. But there's crossover. So, but thank you for supporting the channel, Excessive Gamer. I appreciate that. Sniped You Head, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Johnny Inosa with a $2 super chat says, President Trump is pressing the reset button. Amen. I love it. Yeah, good stuff. Punchcat says, I'm 61. Couldn't agree more. Trump by far is doing so much. He's getting the USA off the globalist agenda plant 100 years ago by the Fabian socialist city of London. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. Let's see here. Republican Party is like the 82 Bulls, and we got the big break and drafted Jordan. Love that. That's good. That's fun. All that Alex Jones and killed my voice. It's true. It's true, among other things. DJ says, I think AI robots will be essential to Trump's economy as well, replacing doctors with AI robots, reducing fraud, significantly reduce healthcare prices coming 2027. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know how much robots will be a part of it, although they will play a part. I do think AI, from the positive aspect, is going to bring about significant good developments in healthcare and in other areas like law. Think about that. It could be the thing that helps us clear up our legal system, because it's going to be very hard once you have these AI who can search all the legal cases and put together stuff from a fair standpoint. It's going to be very hard to argue with that. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that happens that we don't even foresee yet, but I think it's going to be mostly positive. As always, there's going to be AI used for evil, just like the internet can be used for evil or good. But I believe that the good guys eventually will take it and it'll be mostly good. Dixieland Delight says, same here. We're celebrating the 4th of July for the first time in at least 15 years. Wow. That's good for you. J-Dub says, I think Golden Age is here. Awesome. J-Dub, were you satisfied with my economic numbers being good news? I know you were waiting on them. Did I answer your questions? Okay. Let's get into it. We got so much more to get to. Good stuff though. Really, really good stuff. So, guys, before we get moving on this, hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate you. And think about joining. Think about becoming a member free month of Patreon. You can click that link right there that's pinned in the chat, or you can go in the description. That link will give you a free month to my Patreon where you can support the channel. Remember, I am completely supported by you guys. I am not sponsored by anybody. Nobody controls what I say. Nobody pays me to do this. I am supported by my viewers, and then of course I get a little bit of ad revenue from YouTube, which isn't much because my channel's not that big. So get a little of their ad revenue from the ads you have to watch. But other than that, it is user supported or viewer supported. So by joining, it's not that expensive. You get members lives and Discord access. Plus, you can also always support through super chats, which one of the many just did. $10 super chat from one of the many. Thank you, sir. Says, I think all the data centers will power our new financial systems. There's a reason Trump admin's pushing the centers in DeFi. Oh man, yeah. Just wait. I have a big segment I want to do on data centers soon. I'm building it because I think we're being lied to on a lot of stuff with data centers, and I think a lot of the lies are actually coming from the negative side. We're going to talk about that though. There's a massive psyop going on with data centers. I'm still doing my research to see where I stand on it, but I actually believe they might actually be a good thing, not a bad. And I know that scares a lot of people out there, but we're going to look into it, and I'm building that right now. So thank you guys for that. All right, let's get into it, shall we? So we just got massive news from the Supreme Court. We're still waiting on some big cases. We're waiting on the mail-in ballots case, which is going to be huge. We're waiting on the birthright citizenship case, which is also huge. But there's a lot of other cases people forgot about that we're now getting the opinions for, and they are massive. And one of them is this right here. 6-3, the Supreme Court rules courts cannot review the government's decisions to end TPS, temporary protected status, for Syria and Haiti, and says a challenger's race discrimination claim is unlikely to succeed. Wow. Remember, Trump tried to get out all these people who are here from Haiti, like in Ohio and so on and so forth. And now the Supreme Court just upheld it. Says it's not race. It's not race why we're kicking them out. Now the Trump administration can speed up these deportations, which is massive. Here's a little bit more on that.
And Syrian refugees who were here in the country. And basically what the court has said is that they can't challenge this decision by the Department of Homeland Security, by the administration, that they're the ones who get to make the assessment about whether they leave or not. I haven't read the whole thing, but they do get into some of the claims that by some of those who are advocating for the Haitian refugees, that there was some kind of racial animus. The court says they don't see evidence of that. So I'll keep reading, but it's another very fractured decision that seems to be a win for the Trump administration, which would be the second win for them on immigration. That earlier decision that we talked about that came out just a few minutes ago saying that if you get to the Mexico border, but you don't make it onto U.S. soil, you can't file an asylum claim. So the Trump administration has to be happy about what they've gotten today. We've still got 8 opinions left, and it looks like Monday will be in Syria.
Huge news, huge. So now the executive branch has full authority over all this. So this gives the Trump administration just massive leeway now to start expanding. People who have been mad about the deportations maybe not being as much as they wanted, they forget how much has been slowed down by these activist judges. But the Supreme Court just shifted things again, and they did so in other major ways as well. Another 6-3 vote says the Supreme Court rules asylum seekers standing in Mexico have not arrived in the U.S. under immigration law, meaning they are not entitled to inspection or allowed to apply for asylum until they actually cross the border. In other words, you stop them from crossing the border, they can't take advantage of our asylum system. Massive, massive win. These activist judges, I had somebody today bring up to me, say, why does Trump pay attention to these federal judges? He can just ignore them. He doesn't have to obey them. And to which I said, well, strategically he does. And the strategic reason to abide by these activist judges' orders temporarily is because then you through our system, get it to the Supreme Court. And if the Supreme Court overturns it, Now you don't have a rogue president running wild, being a dictator, which is what they want to paint him as, and many people would be off-put by that. No, instead you have a president following the law and being proven right. That is more powerful. That gives you stronger standing for moving forward. It backs it up, and it makes it, now the Supreme Court's ruled on it, another president can't come in and just change this unless they get it through Congress. See, Trump's smart like a fox, and that's why you do this. It sets precedent, and that is much better precedent than ignoring activist judges' orders. I know it's frustrating, it slows things down, but Trump is always thinking long term. He's thinking, how do I make America better for the future, not just right now? And this is the way to do it. Now, we did get another win that from a couple days ago that I didn't talk about yet. But in a 6-3 vote, Supreme Court also ruled, these are 3 immigration wins, that the INA does not require a border officer to have clear and convincing evidence a lawful permanent resident committed a crime involving moral turpitude before deeming the resident an applicant for admission. In other words, the border officers can go in and get these people even if they haven't committed crimes. They don't need warrants for it. That's a big deal. This is also going to speed things up because that was one of the big pushes back. Well, you can't go in there unless no, being illegal is enough. And that's what the Supreme Court is pushing on. Now, with all this going on, Secretary Mullins has announced our border wall is almost finished.
Mention the wall. Yeah. It's getting built. This is something that everybody said could never be done. It won't be done. It'll never get done. It's getting done.
It will be done. So this time next year, if we're on the track that we're projected to be and that we're currently on, this time next year, you and I can have the same meeting right here. In fact, we'll go to the wall, and the first primary, the preliminary wall, will be built from the Pacific to the Gulf of America. And then we're going to be already building the secondary wall. So the primary wall is the reason why the first Trump 45, we just built the primary wall, one wall. What we found out is that the drug cartels were going there cutting a circle in these very rural areas. And before we could respond, they would already be gotaways, or we didn't have the technology on there to detect it. So now we're building a primary wall with technology on it that we can see when it's being tampered with. What the secondary wall does is it gives us time to respond as they're trying to get through the second wall. So some of those are 150 feet apart, some are 60 feet apart, but the primary wall will be built, and the pressure's already happened. We've discovered our first tunnel. I don't know if I can release it yet or not, where it's at. I would not. I better not say it because I don't know what the classification. I better not. But we discovered our very first tunnel we've discovered in years because they didn't have to worry about going underground during the Biden administration, right? So for 4 years it was a free-for-all. Now we pushed them underground and we pushed them to Canada. So now we're having the pressure in Canada where they're trying to come across that border.
Massive. We're getting now 2 big, beautiful walls. Love it. These people know what they're doing. And guess what? By it being done next year, it means there's still plenty of time to get more done by 2028 if a Democrat got in, which isn't going to happen. But yeah, and Mullins mentioned it. I get this a lot about worries about the northern border. Well, they're obviously looking at that too. See, notice how this hasn't been talked about this whole term. In the first term, the fight over the wall was massive. In the second term, they're not fighting it. Why? Because they can't. It's already done. They know they lost this one, so they've moved on. They've just been letting it happen, but they don't want to report on it because it's what the people voted for. It makes Trump look awesome. But it's happening. So Americans, we're getting exactly what we voted for with this wall. And that's something I know we've waited for patiently for 10 plus years since Trump came in 2016. But it is finally happening, and it's going to be even better than we thought. Now, the Trump administration is going after fraudulent immigration lawyers now as well. So last month, this is DHS General Counsel, James Percival. Last month, we put the Open Borders Industrial Complex on notice. Fraudulent asylum claims would result in fines against attorneys now, not just the actual fraudsters. Today, we fined an attorney over $255,000 for filing multiple fraudulent claims on behalf of Indian nationals. So, guys, anybody who's been saying that the Trump administration isn't getting it done on immigration or they're moving too slow, you have to understand a couple things. A, the media is not reporting our wins for the most part. They're not. They're hiding them because they don't want you happy with what you voted for. The second thing is that the judges, the justice system, has tied up the Trump administration in so many ways. But now that the Supreme Court is issuing all these rulings, helping speed up the immigration process, now that ICE is funded all the way through 2029 and DHS is funded all the way through 2029, this is all ramping up. As Tom Homan's told us, it's only speeding up. So if you voted for Trump for immigration, you not only got what you voted for, you're getting more than what you voted for. The whole idea of deporting 20 million people in a year, that's impossible. It was never going to happen. But with this, we're getting rid of all the worst ones. The self-deportations are happening even faster than the other deportations. The Trump administration's closing in the walls on every aspect, while also limiting legal immigration so it can't be taken advantage of anymore. By the end of 2028, when Trump leaves office, we will have a significantly smaller population, millions gone from that were illegally here, as well as a much better system in place for legal immigration going forward, while also protecting American jobs. This will shift our economy and our culture in ways we don't even fully understand yet going forward, but it's all going to be good. And this is a massive, massive area of wins for the president. He's delivering more in many more ways than most of us even expected him to. And that is a huge win and something I hope they talk about more heading into the midterms. All right. Please hit that like and subscribe, guys. Next, we're going to talk about Trump's fight with Congress that happened yesterday. But I did see a couple super chats come in, so I want to hit those up here. Punch Cat with a $100 super chat. Thank you, Punch Cat. Man, that is amazing. Very, very appreciated, sir. And or ma'am. I'm sorry. I don't know. Punch Cat doesn't tell me your sex, but thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. And you didn't even ask a question or a comment. You could have gotten pretty much anything with that amount. So, you know, I am for sale when it comes to questions and comments. But thank you, Punch Cat. Very appreciated. I speak for you at the $20 super chat. Says, words out, Condi, Candace is moving to Russia to hide her money and will be groomed to become the next Tokyo Rose. Interesting. I don't really remember who Tokyo Rose is, but there has been interesting. First of all, I don't think she's moving. I don't see that happening. I think that's a huge psyop going on just for the Duganistas, trying to get us off the scent of the whole City of London connection to make us actually think they're funded by Russia. They're Russian propaganda. I've seen people falling for that. Whereas what Candace, Tucker, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, Dave Smith, Nick Fuentes, what they're all pushing is much more of the City of London intel agency, MI6, CIA, Mossad kind of tactics, the way they psyop us, much more likely than Russia, especially knowing how Trump is building an alliance in many ways with Putin for this new like arc, America, Russia, China kind of sovereigntist. We're the three big nations, but we're sovereign and working together, different than the globalist system. So I think that's a little psyop, the whole like we're actually close to Russia thing. Her husband is the son of a House of Lords member who's got ties to MI6. It's much more likely they move to England if they leave the U.S., which I would not be shocked if Candace leaves the U.S. at some point. And the reason is because I think there's some FARA violations going on with her. And we're going to find out. We're going to find out if I'm right. But I think there's going to be a lot of FARA violations with a lot of these guys that did not register their foreign donations. So, but we'll find out. We will find out. Alrighty here. Let's see. Anything else I'm missing before we move on? Any tags? What about the northern border? Says Justin Mimo. I mean, I think they're working on it, but I don't know if a wall will be used on the northern border. The northern border is it's like very forested, so I already think it's a lot harder to cross the northern border. So they might be able to police it without a wall. They might use different ways, but we'll see. We'll see, or maybe they will. Maybe they'll put one up eventually. Oh, Stu Peters is terrible. Stu Peters is terrible. Tokyo Rose, generic name used by Allied forces during World War II for English-speaking female broadcasters on Japanese propaganda stations. Ah, gotcha. Okay. I think I have heard of that now. Excuse me. Let's see. What Punch Cat? Sorry, Punch Cat. I want to see what you were saying. I'm trying to find your comments here. I saw one, but I think it was a second one. Maybe not, though. Anyways, thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, Stu Peters is a total fraud. He's not even like clever. He doesn't even know how to hide it. It's just he's a joke. He's an absolutely joke. Roughly 30 to 35 podcasters all together in the Grifter Party. Yeah, it might be more. There's definitely like the 6 to 10 that are really well known, but then there's a lot of smaller ones like the Stu Peters types. Candace has a husband with alcohol DUI. It's yep, don't get me started. It's crazy. Yeah, at least I covered the Carville freak out earlier. He is big mad about this whole communist thing. He knows it can't win elections. But that's the only reason Carville would be mad, because Carville only cares about power. He's not like a true believer in anything good. But yeah, he's freaking out because he knows like this is so bad for them to win the elections. It's like them bringing these communists in. It's basically like however hard it was for the Democrats to get back in power, it just made it more. So made it more difficult by considerable percentage. So anybody's a white rapper is a loser. I've known a couple good white rappers. Isn't that McDonald guy that's really like MAGA? Isn't he a white rapper? U.S. law enforcement feds are actually in Canada. I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't done a lot of research on the northern border, to be honest with you. All right. Let's get into this. So yesterday I told you guys the Trump and the Senate and Trump were having a meeting. They were having a lunch together, and I expected it to be explosive, and it did not disappoint. In fact, Trump coming out of it had this to say about some of the senators.
I think we had a really great meeting, and we're very proud of the party. We like everybody really in the room. I don't like a few people, but that's okay. I think you know who they are. But I'll give you that information someday. But for the most part, we have a really well unified party, and I said it very strongly. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the most powerful. We're the smartest. We're the most respected. 2 years ago, we were a laughingstock all over the world. We had a terrible group of people representing us. Every leader, I just left G7, every leader, and we had a lot of people in addition to G7, as you know, came. Everyone said, what we've done in a year and a half is a miracle.
I love that. I'll give you some of them someday, but some I don't like. He's the best. This is coming out of it, and you can see Thune. Thune is fuming after this meeting. Here's Scott Pressler put this together to kind of watch Thune's body language as Trump was talking. This man is just, he hates Trump. You can tell it. But he also, he's also fully controlled by Trump. See the eye roll as he walks off? Now, he holds stuff up. Don't get me wrong. But Trump definitely has leverage over him. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But This is what he told Thune. Going in actually, but what he told Thune is, be a leader, get the votes, pass the Save America Act. 47 even floated Mike Lee's proposal for a talking filibuster, and here's Trump going into it.
So I think we had a really great meeting, and we're very proud of the party. We like our leader. We like everybody really in the room. I don't like a few people.
Oh, we just saw that. That's the same clip. My bad. But the point is, in behind closed doors, see, we don't have any access camera wise to the actual what happened in there. But the word is Trump just for 2 hours just went off on them. And he got into a fight with Bill Cassidy. But the main thing is that he was just like, so Cassidy and him went toe to toe. And Cassidy called Trump brother. Trump said, "I'm not your brother." Afterwards, we saw a shift. And I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. But the main thing is that Trump is not playing games. And there's a trend coming out of this that I think they know. See, they're scared of what's going on right now. They thought Trump was going to enter as a lame duck. The Republicans were ready to lose the midterms. They were ready to let it happen. They wanted it to happen because the establishment wants Trump to be neutered in his last 2 years so they can say Trump was a failure and now we can get our guys back. There's been a lot of reporting on Thune in the Senate wanting to get the new Senate back, the Senate back to the way it was, looking ahead. And so this was all the plan. They thought Trump was going to lose. But then something happened. Trump got out of Iran. Oil prices started going back down. And now Trump's approval is going back up. This is terrifying them. Last year, when he came in after the election, the Republicans played ball. As long as Trump was popular because he just won this mandate, they got him as one big, beautiful bill. They were on his side. They passed through all of his secretary confirmations. Not one of them died. He didn't have one person in his cabinet not get confirmed. That's huge. And it tells you they know, like, they had to play ball. They were scared. Coming into this year was the opposite. They started stalling. They sensed weakness. They were fighting against him. But Trump is now on the rise again. And with these numbers starting to come in where it looks like he might actually pull off the midterms, they're starting to get really scared again. The primaries shook them up. They couldn't believe that Cornyn got destroyed the way he did, that Cassidy got destroyed the way he did, that Massey got kicked out. They couldn't believe it. And they're like, oh my God, are we going to be stuck with this guy? So they threw a tantrum when he first came back. They took off. But then when they came back, they passed his reconciliation bill. And now DHS is funded through 2029. They passed this War Powers Act that pissed Trump off. So Trump brings them in, calls them out on it, calls them out on Save America. Cassidy challenges him. But the funniest part about Cassidy challenging him is that he fell in line after. And you can tell that this lunch that they had, where Trump yelling at them, calling out Thune, you can tell it had an effect. And look at this. Rand Paul, of all people, he just voted to strip Trump's war powers. But after this, they decided to vote on it again. And then Paul came out and said, tonight I'll vote present on it. My opinion on the debate over war and executive power has not changed. I voted that way several times. But since hostilities are over and President told me to give consideration to his negotiating position, I will do so. My vote of president is a way to give the president more space and leverage to negotiate lasting peace. And Trump posted this after the vote. Wow, the Senate changed its vote on Iran from 50-48 against to 50-47 for. Rand Paul and Bill Cassidy changed. He got them in line. Thank you to Leader Thune, Lindsey Graham, Bernie Moreno, and all. The vote puts Iran on notice. This shows you Trump's still the leader of the party. And the Republicans can throw all the hissy fits they want, but Trump ultimately owns them. And he just brought them back. The next thing I'm looking for, because remember, yesterday Trump also canceled his signing of the housing bill. The next thing I'm looking for is, will he finally get something on the Save America Act? Now, him and Johnson are meeting today. They are having a really big talk over getting the Save America Act through, and maybe in a reconciliation bill. They're trying to figure out how to do that. In which case, Thune would have to vote on it because you only need 51 votes. You can't filibuster a reconciliation bill. That's what's happening right now. So Trump is just showing us again who has the power, and the Senate just proved to us that they don't have what it takes to stop him. They don't have the conviction. They don't have the power. And guys, in my opinion, this is actually a major tell as Trump stands here with all these Rick Scott admiring him, but Thune standoffish. It tells you that Trump is actually in way more control than we think. And this is pissing off a lot of the neocon rhinos who want these guys, these establishment guys, to push back on Trump on some stuff. But again, he meets with them and immediately it flips. It's one thing to get Rand Paul to change, because Paul is, he kind of moves with the tide. He hasn't been fighting with Trump the same way. But to get Bill Cassidy to change his vote when he's already gotten Bill Cassidy out of the Senate in the primary, he primaried against Cassidy. Cassidy finished third. He's not coming back next year. To get Bill Cassidy to flip his vote, that tells you where the real power is. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out, but I think this gives me more hope for the Save America hack than I've had in a while. And I've been more bullish than most. Now I'm really bullish that they're going to figure something out. This Senate is definitely scared of Trump, and that's a good thing for all of us. All right. That was a short segment, but please hit that like and subscribe. I want to finish with a segment with some of Trump's clips from last night and signs of just where we're headed, because, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But let me get into the chat real quick in case I missed anything. Again, guys, please tag me if you're trying to get my attention so I can see it. Or, obviously the super chats are guaranteed, but that's up to you guys if you want to support the channel. But like, subscribe for sure. And then, if you want more, click the Patreon link in the pinned post or the description and get a free month. Let's see here. Excuse me, guys. Let me take a sip here. My voice is holding up enough. I'm going to make it. Sniped Your Head says, data centers and AI are not a bad thing inherently. They're tools to increase the power of the human mind. Tool can heal or kill depending on who controls them. Yeah, and how they're used. Absolutely. A lot of people can't believe Thune's still leader. I know that's one of those things where they gotta vote him in, vote in the leader. Thune might be gone next year. Just wait. Rand Paul could be Ronald McDonald. I don't think so, but that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Thank you, I'm a Wild Man. I appreciate that. Rave says, I saw Tim Pool with an opinion that with USAID drying up, rap music not being in the top 50 anymore for the first time in years. Not only is it not in the top 10, it is cratering. Lizzo, the big fat girl, she put out an album. She was really famous. She just put out an album and it only sold 3,000 copies. 3,000 copies. That's crazy low. So yeah, there might be something to that. Excuse me, guys. All right. Much better. Cornyn is throwing a tantrum. Cornyn can't believe he lost. Remember, Cornyn was second in line to leadership. He almost won. So he went from being almost leader of the Senate to being destroyed in his primary. He never thought in a million years that would happen. I don't think Mike Lee would go up for leadership, Monica. I don't think he'd have a chance. But Rick Scott was third last time. Rick Scott could take over. Rick Scott would be awesome. Linda says, Senate took off 2 weeks. What's my thought? My thoughts are that they're throwing a tantrum after giving Trump a win last night. after getting blasted by Trump and giving him a win, this was their little tantrum to say, oh, we still have some power. And Trump's just laughing at them. Like, okay, take your 2 weeks, losers. Because it doesn't really change anything. But yeah, I think that's all it is. Yeah, and it also, it's not like it's unheard of. They take 2 weeks right now because the 4th is coming up. So it is what it is. I don't think it means much. Monica says MAGA took out 4 nearly 5 rhino senators, unheard of. Yeah, and not only were they rhinos, they were incumbents. It's the most ever been taken out in one single election cycle in history for Republicans. So that tells you who's got the real power, right? So Cornyn's your senator. DJ says, don't be afraid to say midterm red wave is coming. Say it with your chest. Trump's dismantling deep states. It's ours to grab. Well, the reason why I won't say that is I do think the Democrats are going to get strong turnout for the midterms because there's a huge anti-Trump vote that's very excited to vote because they actually think they're going to pull something off. MAGA Republicans, on the other hand, see, Trump changed the bases. The Democrats are now the base that's more educated, which means went through college and stuff. So they're more likely to vote. The Republican base, that used to be our base. George Bush, that was our base. We were the more educated party. Now, Trump appeals more to the working class. Well, working class voters are less likely to vote in midterms. So unless Trump can get the energy up and treat this like a general presidential election, it's even with election reforms that are happening and Democrats kind of falling apart right now. Even if that, like, I think we gain, but I don't think it would be a wave. A wave means you win, you gain 30, 40 seats, right? So that's, I just don't see that happening. Sorry, guys. My audio is not low. My voice is shot. That's the problem. Sorry, Nana. But yeah, I don't think we'll see a red wave no matter what. Because you usually only see waves in opposition years because you're opposing the president. So you're fighting against him. Waves rarely, if ever, happen for the party that's in control because people get comfortable too. That's the other part. So I'm not going to go out there and say there'll be a red wave unless something significantly shifts. But we'll see. We'll see. But we could gain, like best case scenario, we could gain 5 to 10, which would not be a wave, but it would be a strong showing. Very strong. I do think that's possible. Okay. Let's get into this. So last night, the Trump, the 250 America rallies have started in Washington, D.C., leading up to the 4th. The fair is there, which I'm going to try to go to. It's only 6 hours away. D.C. This America Fair, National Fair is happening, the 250th, and it looks really cool. But Trump spoke last night, and I think it's one of his best speeches ever as far as uniting the nation and inspiring us for what's coming in the future. So I want to play a few clips from his speech last night and talk about them.
Tonight, right here on the National Mall, we are beginning the most unforgettable birthday party any country has ever seen. Oh, you're going to have a good time. You're going to have a good time. This evening, it's my honor to officially kick off the celebration with the Great American State Fair. It's going to be great. It's going to be unbelievable. So from today through July 10th, this event will showcase all 56 states and territories.
This is really cool.
There will be no military flyovers. And I want to tell you something, because they're going to be beyond flyovers. There'll be something like you've never seen. You get just a little tiny glimpse of it tonight. By the way, how good is our Air Force? How good is our... Nobody's ever seen those planes. They are serious planes. When the bad guys see those planes coming, they say, we give up. But we're going to have special performances, patriotic music, high-tech demonstrations, unique exhibitions, a FIFA fan zone, which is great, and it really has been big stuff, and even an old-fashioned rodeo. I love rodeo. I don't know how they do it.
I love it, man.
I don't know how they do it. Then on July 4th, we will have the greatest show of all on the National Mall. Your favorite president will be speaking. So please show up. Because if we have 2 empty seats, you know what's going to happen? The fake news is going to say, he didn't fill out the arena. No, I'll be speaking. I'll be very proudly speaking as we ring in our 250th year with the largest fireworks display in world history, 10 times larger than any that we've ever done in Washington or in the United States. So if you like fireworks... Then in August, we're going to have what's called the Patriot Games, a first-of-its-kind competition featuring the greatest high school athletes from all across the United States. And applications are open through July 10th. These are the best athletes in the country, young athletes. And soon thereafter, we'll have a Freedom 250 Grand Prix right here in Washington around the Capitol.
Dude, you hear all that? I mean... What Trump's doing is he's making the 250th this massive nationwide event to pay attention to, which is extremely exciting because this is what's going to gin up all that patriotism feel. Heck yeah, I'm going to watch this Patriot Games. You know how cool that is? Have the high schoolers compete? It did make me think of the Hunger Games, which is not a good thing, but the difference is they won't be killing each other. But anyway, regardless... it's such a cool idea. Like, have them all compete in the Grand Prix. I didn't know about this either. This is so much bigger than what I expected them to do. And this is exactly what we should be doing. Our 250th, just make it huge, make it massive. And I'm telling you guys, with the economy improving while our 250th is happening, I mean, I think this is, can you imagine, by the way, this is like a hope of mine. It's like 1,000 to 1 shot, but just for a second, allow yourself to imagine if America somehow won the World Cup or even came close. You know what that's going to do as well? We haven't finished higher than 8th in the last like 100 years. So, man, these are really, really exciting times. And this summer is just going to leave such a good feeling in America going forward. That is the kind of thing that could gin up a major shift for the midterms. But then Trump, after that, he started talking more just like inspirational stuff about the country. And this is just really good stuff. Listen to this.
250 years ago, a new nation was founded by farmers and soldiers, shopkeepers and tradesmen who stood strong to defend their rights, their families, and their freedom from tyranny across the sea, from every city and town, from the mountains and valleys, from the backwoods and rocky shores. They came by the thousands to fill the ranks of American patriots and enlist their lives in the righteous cause of independence. That's what they did. This exceptional nation was forged and won by some of the bravest, toughest, strongest, most extraordinary people ever to stride the earth. Together we stand on the shoulders of incomparable heroes such as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, John Paul Jones, John Hancock, at Lexington and Concord, Brooklyn and Saratoga, Trenton and Yorktown, and at Independence Hall in Philadelphia. These real-life legends and American icons poured out their blood, sweat, and tears and risked everything they had to purchase and to live the most priceless and glorious inheritance of any people ever to be on this earth. They all lived by the oath that Patrick Henry made immortal: give me liberty or give me death. For 250 years, every generation of Americans have taken up this same call to freedom, from the storied alleys of Boston to the streets of Philadelphia, from the golden fields of Michigan to the gleaming shores of California, and from Texas to Florida to right here in now beautiful and extremely safe Washington, D.C., Our American ancestors fought and won the most vicious battles. They explored and settled the most dangerous frontiers and let no challenge ever break their spirit or their pride. They were proud to be Americans. They love our country. They look down on us now. They love our people. Americans crossed the Great Plains, scaled the mighty Rockies, tamed the Wild West, and turned this continent into industrial powerhouses like nobody has ever seen. We laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built the great highways, invented the airplane, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism. We're going to have to do that again. And led humanity into space. And we did it all in the span of just 250 years.
So what's so great about this is, Trump is reminding us that we're not the only generation that's faced challenges, and that their challenges might have in many ways been even harder than ours. It's really good message to the black pillar doomer types out there. See, Trump isn't afraid. Did you notice what he said at the end there, or close to the end? He said, defeated fascism and communism, which we might have to do again. Man, because these people that we're fighting, they are communists, whether it's the left, whether it's the deep state, the City of London types. I mean, it's all, the system is communism. And I love that Trump's calling it out like that. It's powerful stuff. Again, Trump's always telling us what's happening. He just doesn't do it directly all the time. You just have to listen. But this is huge, and this is a good reminder. Him reminding us where we came from makes it much easier to be exciting for where we go. And here's Trump talking about what they want to do looking forward.
Under our leadership, America will also be a nation that dares to dream and to build again. We want to build again and dream again. The American dream is alive again. That's something that nobody thought they'd be saying when you went through that last 4 years of incompetence. For the 100th anniversary of our founding in 1876, America completed the Washington Monument, and the work began on the Statue of Liberty. For our 150th year, we built Colonial Williamsburg. Remember that, Colonial Williamsburg, how beautiful it was. For the 200th year, we built the National Air and Space Museum and renovated the United States Capitol. For our 250th anniversary, we are likewise building new monuments to American greatness to serve every future president and first lady. We're building the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world right at the White House.
So it's interesting because, a lot of people get upset that, oh, my tax dollars are paying for this. But you got to understand, Trump understands our history, okay? And in our history, as a great nation, you build monuments because it encourages the people. It's a testament to the people. It's a reminder of our greatness and how powerful we are, how good we are. And every nation in history has done that. Trump understands that. And that's what he's trying to do by beautifying Washington, D.C., by getting us new monuments. And then this ballroom, which also has strategic reasons behind it as well. But the point is Trump understands. He gets our history better than other presidents did who are trying to erase our history or move us in a new direction. Trump's interested in combining the best of the old with the best of the new. And that's something we haven't seen in a long time, which is one of the reasons I'm so excited about the future. Now, looking ahead, reasons I think we are headed to the best times we've seen. I mean, there's just indications everywhere. This is with oil and foreign, what Trump's accomplished. And this guy reports, in 1 month, Strait of Hormuz will be virtually irrelevant for security of supply and useless as strategic weapon. That's a long-term win. John Solomon reporting that the information emerging from declassification efforts is way worse than previously expected. This is a tell of what's coming. Exposure. Again, these will lead to long-term changes. Here's Solomon.
Well, listen, we're going to get stories out day by day. The president's probably going to tell them. He deserves to tell them. He was the object of much of the abuse that we see and have documented. And the one thing I'm most ashamed of in this process is, as much as I've reported on this, and I got it wrong, it is way worse I now know it's way worse than everything I've chronicled, and I didn't think that was possible. So I get a chance to correct my reporting by augmenting what we didn't know. And
how crazy is that? Solomon right now is working with the intelligence agencies. He's stepped down for a couple months from his editor job to go through these files to help them be presented. And he's saying it's way worse, which means exposure is going to be massive when it starts dropping, which will lead to big changes. We have stuff like this being reported where the Small Business Association Governor's Investment of Office and Innovation says last year, Small Business Investment Company reached record $53 billion in total assets, largest in history, and a reflection of unprecedented levels of private capital mobilized through public-private partnerships. Small businesses, guys, are investing more than ever before. This is huge. This is going to change our energy going forward. Here's Energy Secretary Chris Wright about nuclear.
Here at Idaho National Lab, the first new reactor switched on in more than 50 years earlier this month. As part of the DOE's reactor pilot program, how does this contribute to the U.S.'s goal to quadruple nuclear capacity by 2050?
It's tremendous. These are historic times right now. 75 years ago, the nuclear age, using nuclear energy to produce electricity for civilian applications, began right here at Idaho National Labs in 1951. This is the world's greatest gathering of nuclear energy expertise on the planet. And now we have the new nuclear age beginning right now, the golden era of nuclear energy, with soon to be our third next generation nuclear reactor to turn on, to go critical and maintain a sustaining chain reaction. As a career nuclear guy, I could not be more excited.
Here at Idaho.
You know how massive that is? If we employ nuclear going forward, energy is going to plummet. Electrical prices are going to plummet, and it's going to be cleaner than before. Nuclear unlocks an entire new dimension for our economy, and we're finally investing in it. We've been purposefully being held back. This is the managed decline that so many have talked about, that we've been a part of. That's ending, and this is why what Trump is bringing is going to be better than anything we've seen before in American history. I believe these are the lasting changes, and I talk about this a lot, the demographic changes. Well, there's a study blaming iPhones for collapsing birth rate, but it's actually conservatives are having as many kids as the 80s. Liberals are being bred out. Here's Peter St. Owen talking about the future with our demographics because of this birthing trends.
Did the iPhone eat the kids? Are cell phones the reason Americans are not having kids anymore? A new study is making the rounds claiming cell phones are collapsing the birth rate, which has fallen a quarter since 2007. The argument being kids don't hang out anymore, so there's fewer opportunities to get drunk and do things one might regret in the morning. It is a cute hypothesis, but the problem is it's up against the fact that the fertility collapse is entirely Democrats. Conservatives are having the same number of kids they did in the 1980s, which is weird because conservatives do, in fact, use iPhones. So the study used the national experiment of the original iPhone rollout, which went city by city. The researchers correlated fertility trends, and voila. The problem, of course, is the iPhone didn't roll out randomly. It started with big blue cities like New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. So they were not measuring cell phones, they were measuring blue cities. This suggests falling births is not fate, it is liberals.
Isn't that interesting? See, we keep being told about this population crisis, this birthing crisis, and it's true when you look at it from the macro sense. But when you dial it in, it's only true for leftists. It's leftists and globalists that are not having kids. So again, with all this change coming, we, for the last decade, have been having twice as many kids as they have. That eventually turns into voters. This is the way, guys, we are headed towards long-lasting change because the right is growing. MAGA, traditional families, common sense families are growing. The commies are disappearing. And that is they're doing it to themselves because they were trying to push it on us as well, but it didn't work. And now it's fading away. And this is why I continually say, another reason, there's lots of reasons, but it's one of the reasons I continually say, we're just at the beginning of things getting better. We're just at the beginning. And Trump, he really put the stamp on this last night.
From Athens to Rome, from London to Paris, from New York to LA, and from all of the other parts of the world, the great civilizations of history did not wallow in aging ruins of the past. They built new cities, they created new monuments, and they forged towering legacies that still inspire the world after hundreds and even thousands of years. As America turns 250 years old, young by comparison to some, but superior to any nation that's ever been built, no matter how many years it took. We are the inheritors of these incredible traditions. We are the ones who are carrying forward the light of Western civilization, because this is the very beginning of the golden age of America. We're in the golden age. There's never been an age like this. There's never been an age like this. This anniversary is a time to be proud of our past, but it is also a time to lift our sights, expand our ambitions, and raise our expectations of what America can be. We will leave our children nothing less than the richest inheritance, most advanced civilization, and highest standard of living in human history. There's never been anything like it. But with all of that being said, the best is yet to come.
There it is. That's the plan. Leave us the best life ahead. And I agree with this. I think everything is pointing towards this. I think there's difficulties. There's going to be hard things. There's going to be challenges. Of course there will be. But looking ahead, seeing everything they're lining up, and considering what we're coming out of, I completely believe Trump on this one. I think he's prophetically speaking, but I think he also knows. And guys, golden ages don't just last 2 to 5 years. They generally go decades to 100 years or more. And I do believe we're looking at the next 20 to 50 years being amazing. And maybe it goes longer than that. Who knows? With modern technology, modern information, the way we can spread information, we're never going back to that darkness where we didn't know what was going on before. So incredible things coming, guys. As Trump said, the best is yet to come. I believe that with all my heart. And I think we're really, truly just seeing the beginning of it. Hit that like and subscribe if you agree. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you. I'm going to get in the chat. If you can't tell, my voice is almost completely gone. But I'm going to get in the chat and do my best to answer some questions and comments before we take off today. Ministry of Wrongthink with the $2 super chat says they fearmongered nuclear like data centers now. They fearmonger everything. They fearmongered electricity. They fearmongered cars, automobiles. They fearmongered the internet. There's always massive fear when we take leaps. They fearmongered the Industrial Revolution. There's always crazy amounts of fear when things are about to change. But here's the thing. The trend of human history is that it improves and we adapt. And when we adapt, life gets better with each and every major technological advancement. That's the trend of human history. And so I don't have any reason to believe it'll be different this time. Janet with the $5 super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. Says, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism. We're going to have to do that again. That's a signal. Listen to General Holt. I did listen to Holt and Steve today on Rich. It was excellent. And I completely agree with you. It's a signal. Thank you, Janet. Smokehouse with a $5 super chat says, sorry to be glooming black pillar, but your voice is officially on its last crippled legs. That's not blackpilling. That is just a fact, Smokehouse, but thank you. I'm going to rest it a lot today. Tomorrow I have a long day. I'm supposed to record with Rich for an hour and a half, and then I got my live. So pray for my voice, guys. Pray for my voice that tonight and tomorrow it heals so that I have a real voice again. I've been gargling, Patty. I've been drinking the good tea, all that stuff. So thank you guys. Let's see. Sierra, I love that. I love that about you and your kids. Jay says, if Dems were to have remained in power from 2008 to this day, many Republicans would have no internet access, silence us, hold us back, CBDCs. Absolutely. We would have gotten all that, 100%. That's what they wanted. Like my optimism. Thank you, Keating. Appreciate you. You know, we're going to have to keep watching closely as for the future who our leader will be, whether it's Vance, Rubio, DeSantis, someone else. But I do believe God has a plan. I do believe we'll pay close attention and we'll get the right person as things shape up. How do we keep social democrats from taking over? We vote and we keep exposing them, and we'll win. I have no doubts about we'll win if as long as we don't stop. DJ says, best thing about socialists winning, watch how the media will turn against the socialists. They already are, because the media knows they can't win with them. Thank you, Shiski. Thank you, RH from Alberta, Canada. Love it. Gojo says, read this, please. Thank you. UK, America are one country, one people. Greatest news ever in human history. I would agree that the people are close. But the difference is in America, we're actually fighting back. We need your people to wake up in the UK and Canada, and then you guys can win too. We need more of you guys waking up. I already talked, Creep, about the federal judges. If you want to go back to a segment I did earlier about why Trump listens to them. I need a text-to-speech. AI can do impersonations. I should just AI clone my voice, right? I could just type it. So, let's see here. They do want us living in fear. That is absolutely right. All right, here. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a day. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Let's end in a prayer, and then we'll call it a day, and I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, real quick. One of the many with a $5 super chat says, the best way to promote change is talk politics with people around you. We can't stay silent majority. I agree. They told us don't speak about politics and religion because it offends people, but that's the most important things to talk about. So we need to do that. Papa, I lost my voice, man. Anyways, I love you guys. Let's pray and we'll call it a day, and I'll be back tomorrow. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless everybody here. God bless my voice. Jesus, I need healing. Father, heal me. Yeah, I need help. God, touch my voice. Help me take care of it today so I can come back tomorrow. And Father, bless everybody here for watching. I pray, God, you're with them and whatever their needs are. Bless our president. Thank you for him and his leadership and everything he's doing. And bless his team for all the work they're doing to make our country great. I pray, Lord, for our country, you would bless it with peace, prosperity, and justice like we've never seen before, that this golden age is not a dream. It's not a pipe dream. It's not a guess. It's prophetic speak of what's coming. That's what I'm believing for, and that's what I believe you want to do for us, Lord. I do believe that's why you gave us Trump. So help us do whatever we need to do to make it happen on an individual basis. And so we can give the best country ever to our kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids. In Jesus' name, amen. Love you guys. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care.
Headlines screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polished choir. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is